Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. So today's session is a special one-off session. So typically I like to do these live stream sessions associated to one of these projects, but this one is not necessarily associated to a project. I am just exploring a product today. And I'm actually exploring this product pretty fresh. So the last time I did one of these, and I can't even remember what the tool was called, I explored a tool live that I had never explored before, and that stream ended up being like a total train wreck. And I can't even remember what that was, to be honest, at this point now. But like this one, I have a little bit more insight on. So what we're going to be covering today is something called Apple's Create ML. And if you don't know what that is like well, I guess I'll be forthright with this. I don't even know how I got this installed on my computer. Like, I don't know if this was installed like by default with Mac OS. I don't know if this was installed whenever I installed the Xcode tools. But basically, it is this user interface program where we can do some pretty cool machine learning kinds of things. So the context in which I learned this was actually as part of work. I can't really divulge like the full details of this, but my coworker, Tom Buff, Tom, if you're watching, thank you again for discovering this. So we are Mac users in our job, so we were exploring this deep learning project, and so Tom was exploring some of the tools of his own computer and discovered this Create ML tool and gave me a demonstration of it, and it was pretty dang cool what he showed me. So I'm not, I am walking into this pretty fresh. Like, I've not actually played around with this myself at all yet, so I have never done anything, but at least this one's a little bit more promising as opposed to it was some sort of feature store tool. Feast, that's what it was. Feast, and I can't remember what necessarily went wrong there, but it was I slid into that one knowing nothing. So this one is going to be one of those streams where and part of the where I'm not really I'm kind of scatterbrained right now. What am I trying to say? I'm coming into this one not knowing anything, partially just because I've not had the time to even look at it. So let's go ahead and just jump into things. Oh, and I guess, the reason I'm exploring this, and I shared a little bit about this in our last stream, is, I've got this rock, paper, scissors project going on in the computer vision one, and I really wanted to use TensorFlow for it. It's just that I have this new Apple Silicon Mac here, and it doesn't want to run TensorFlow like I would ideally like it to. So I'm exploring different options, and so now I want to see if this is a potential option for this going forward. By the way, I am monitoring questions across both LinkedIn and YouTube, so if you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to drop a comment or question down there. Hopefully, the last two streams also have gotten cut off at like the 45-minute mark. I don't know if it's my internet or because I use this free service to do the simulcast called Restream. I don't know if there was just something messed up with Restream, so hopefully we won't get a cutoff this week. So apologies again, the last two streams have gotten cut off. So let's go ahead and jump into my screen. So this is my screen, just my desktop. Like I said, Create ML was already installed on my machine, and when I was talking to Tom about this the other day, I was asking, like, do you recall how you installed it? He didn't recall either. It may have just come installed whenever we installed Xcode. And I had Xcode installed on my personal Mac here because I was wanting to do some potential iOS development. But yeah, I'm kind of too soon to divulge any details on that. So let me go ahead and just search for Create ML. So this is the Create ML app. So it looks kind of like this blue icon here. Unfortunately, I can't do that launchpad thing. I don't know if you know what the launchpad thing is. So if you do so I got my magic trackpad here. If you do the 5-finger pinch in, typically you will see like the apps that'll show up. Because I have like a dual monitor setup going, and I've got I'm displaying you're looking at my top monitor actually. If I do this, I can see all the apps. It's just on this bottom monitor, so that's why I got to do it. I guess I could do it in a different way. So let me, because I want you all to be able to see that icon. So if I go over into my applications and then I scroll down here, it should be in here. So yeah, Create ML. Well, or not. Okay, never mind. All right, so, but it is apparently installed on here. All right, so let's just go to open up through this way. So, okay. All right, again, coming into this fresh, so I'm not sure what to expect. So, okay, so here, looks like it is going to have me create a new project. I know that it is open because you can see in the top left corner of the screen that Create ML is showing. Okay, so if I click new document, what happens? Okay, so this is pretty interesting. So this is what Tom was showing me the other day. So it looks like there's a number of different things that we can do. Now this is, so what he did was he showed me the image classification one. So I'm not for our context. I don't know what I'm necessarily interested in. I don't know if I'm more interested in the object detection or the hand pose classification. But the image classification was really cool, what he showed me. Now the one trouble we're going to have here is that I don't necessarily have data on hand to test any of these things out. Although I did not realize that it also can do tabular classification. So that's interesting. I do have some data on hand for that. So maybe we can try that out. So let's go ahead and jump into hand pose classification. How about that? We'll just keep it simple because I'm just going to delete this project after the fact. Like if I actually do end up using this, I will save this all properly. All right, so I'm gonna create a new folder here called test create ML. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna create it in this. So I got this folder on my desktop here. Okay, so this is similar to the user interface that my coworker Tom was showing me the other day. And it looks like, you should just be able to, and this is where I was talking about the fact that like this is a very, because you hear the phrase low code or no code tossed around a lot. This really is like a low code, no code kind of tool, and that's what was pretty interesting about it. So it looks like, well, I don't know. Like I was kind of hoping that it would show something in here of like, because I've not even really reviewed the documentation on this. So let's open up the documentation. So I'm going to open up Safari. Okay. All right, so Safari, open up another window. So let's do create ML. And what was this called? Hand pose? Yeah, hand pose classifier. Hand pose classifier. And let's see if we can read through this documentation and understand how it worked. Okay, so so if you're not aware, Apple prefers their own version of a coding language called Swift. And so I don't know if this is going to necessarily require some Swift to ultimately make this thing work. So this is where I'm getting a little bit lost. This is not exactly what I was expecting to see. I was expecting to see some general information about this user interface here. Okay, so create ML, hand pose classifier can. Okay, so on training data for hand poses. Well, but how do I actually do the hand poses? So. Unfortunately, as part of the stream, I don't want to, violate any, what's the word? I don't want to necessarily show any videos that I'm not able to show over the stream, so I'm not going to watch any videos. So I don't know how far I'm necessarily going to get with this one, but and this is the thing I should have been more prepared. Like every time I walk into one of these streams unprepared, this is kind of what starts to happen. At least I do have tabular data, so we could test out the tabular stuff. So in the form of the Titanic data set that we've worked on before. So we might be able to do that, but I just really wanted to see, like how this works. So hand pose classifier demo. Is there a demo? Like, demo. Build in. Okay, these are all just videos. Yeah. Wait, I wonder if there's text down here that would say something. Create ML, creating an action ML classifier. Okay, there's something going on here. I didn't necessarily want to see that. Oh, video model. So, okay, so training something from a checkpoint, eventing, testing, functions. Okay, interesting. Is there one on how just to use the hand classifier without data? Because what I was hoping honestly to see, like I was hoping that there would be something in here that I could like do a preview where I could just like hold up my hand and it would like automatically have like a couple already pre-trained, if you know what I mean. But it doesn't seem like that's the case, unfortunately. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get super far with this down this path. Or down any of these paths, frankly. So this is this is what happens when David comes in unprepared. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna and this is more my bad than anything, so no fault of Apple. Okay, well, shoot. All right, well let's close out of here. Let's try something different. Let's try a different thing. So let's do a new project. Oh, what is the difference between a hand action and a hand pose? Okay, I doubt this is going to give me anything different, but let's try it out anyway. Why not? Okay, so yeah, this is not going to give me anything different. Okay, yeah, this is not going to work out. Okay, well, shoot. All right, so let's try out the tabular data, because again, I do have some tabular data. Let's do the tabular classification. And so let's go ahead and create this. So it looks like the user interface is pretty similar for all these. Like you've seen this now that I've opened this 3 different times, and that I'm getting something similar every single time. So it looks like you drag in your training data, and it looks like it might do an auto split on the validation data, and then you pass in your testing data. So I do have the Titanic data set on my local computer. So let's go ahead and pull that up. So can I pull it up through here? All right, so let's under Titanic data raw train. All right, no target selected. Okay, so how do I select the target? Survived is my target. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this, all right, now we're starting to get somewhere. So that was pretty cool. Just right off the bat, the one thing I want, I glossed over that really quickly. So all I did here was, we got this train.csv, and when I look at, it had me select a target. These are all of the features associated to this data set. So that's pretty cool. And then we do have, which features selected? So yeah, I want to, okay, now we're starting to see some additional features. So these are the features associated to the data set. Now I want to see, now some of these aren't really relevant, and we've discussed this before about how this data set, when we actually did this as part of our live stream, it's probably been a year ago now. We didn't use all of these, so let's just select the ones that we did use. So we use P class, we use gender, sex, we use age, we use sibling. I forgot what the SP stands for. Sibling something, and then this was parent child. I don't think we did use fair. I think we used pretty much all of these. There was one that I think we didn't use. Okay, maybe not. All right, so that we selected the features from there. All right, so that is and then it's going to do a validation from the split of the data set, and I do have the testing data set too, I believe. So we're gonna go ahead and import that. Testing data set is missing features for used for training. What does that mean? It's got all the same features. So I don't know why it's saying that. Okay. All right. Well, do we just not have a testing data set then? Okay. So, and then it looks like we can use a different algorithm. So let's use the boosted trees. So I have a hunch that's probably XGBoost, because the curious thing I'm wondering with this is what is it actually running under the hood? Or can we export it? After we train this model, could we use it in a context outside of this user interface? So we get to select our parameters if we want. I'm not gonna necessarily do that. I just want to see if this will work, because I don't know if it will right out the box, because it might. No, oh wow, oh okay, it worked. Oh, look at this. All right, up in the top right corner, so we get a 91%. Well, I don't know what the 91% means. So let's look at the evaluation. So the training did complete, and then I see a 91% here, but I don't know what the 91% means. But it appears to have worked. Can we? Well, let's try this testing data set again. I don't know why. Okay. I don't know why it's resolve data error to, well, how do I know what the data error is though? So drag and drop ACSV with the header, naming the features and target contained in each row. But there would not be a target on a test data set. So that's why it's not showing a target. I wonder if that's why it's complaining that it doesn't have the target value in here. Okay, well, I don't know what to do about that. Oh, okay, so here's the predictions. But what does the predictions necessarily mean? But I don't see. Okay, so, well, what does this get button do? Get. Well, no, I don't want to save it there. So let's save it here in the same place that I'm doing this, because I'm very curious what this actually saved out. So let's go into this file, and it saved this as an ML model. So that is not a type I'm familiar with. So because the curious thing I was wondering is if it would save it into a generalized type that I could use for a different purpose. Because it looks like, well, because what it seems to me is that that you could use this in like the Xcode for within an iOS app or something, which actually might just be, that actually might be good for what I want to do in terms of the rock paper scissors project. I just don't exactly know. Sorry, I'm a little bit scatterbrained trying to think and talk at the same time. So let me. I mean, the one impressive thing is that how easy it was to get to this point. I mean, we just opened this thing up, we dragged it in, we selected our features, and we were on our way. The trouble is that I'm kind of stuck here. I don't know what to do going forward, and I don't know what these numbers mean. I wish there was a way to kind of understand this a little bit better. So I'm learning my lesson again. I promised myself that I would never come into one of these streams fully unprepared, and I'm remembering why I don't do that. But let's forge on ahead and see how far we can get. We might not get very far in this stream at all today, so apologies for the lack of something. It's just this is a cardinal sin, but I'm gonna pass in the training data set just to see what happens. Feature age has missing values at train.csv. Okay, so this thing doesn't handle nulls, and that was the one thing I was afraid of. Now I do have a cleansed version of this, so right, so maybe we could just use the cleansed version of that. How about that? Now I think I'm gonna have to conjoin some stuff together. Okay, so where is it at? Titanic. All right, so let's here. I'll just open it up in the window. Okay, so data clean. Okay, so I do have it clean. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. The predictor values were separated from the X. But no problem. Let's go ahead and very quickly join them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up a quick Jupyter Notebook interface. Jupyter Notebook. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to go into data. I'm going to go into clean, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new notebook here, and then I'll delete this notebook after the fact. All right, so we're going to import pandas. Import. Oh my gosh, can't type right now. Okay, and then I'm going to x equals pd.read csv, x.csv, y equals pd.read csv, y.csv. All right, did that load in correctly? Yes, it did. Why did you load in correctly? Yes, you did. All right, let's go ahead and concat them together. pd.concat, not concat, concat. All right, so we need to concat x, y, and this is the one I always forget, if it's x is 0 or 1. Did I do that right? No, I did not do that right. I meant to do 1. Because oops, not an exclamation point, a 1. All right, there we go. So what that did basically there, I did that super quick. So basically what I did is read in the 2 CSV files and use this pandas concat, and then so the axis equals 1, the axis parameter here, what that's basically saying, if it's 0, what you're doing is you're taking your 2 data frames and then concatenating them on the rows. So that's what I didn't want to do. Whereas this one is taking, when you do the axis equals 1, that's doing the column. So that's taking my Y column and my X columns and then putting them together to form one data frame like this. And then I'm going to export this out. So I'm going to do an export. So PD, so df.to CSV, clean.csv, and then I'm going to do an index equals false because I just I do not care about the index. All right, just to verify this again. So df clean equals pd.read CSV. Just reading this backend just to verify that this worked. Okay, clean or df clean. Oops, I'm going so fast that I keep making minor mistakes. Okay, there we go. So now we have a cleansed version of this data set. Okay, so I can go ahead and close out of this. Here, let me go ahead and stop this notebook. Shut this or delete the notebook because I no longer need it. All right, so that cleaned the CSV. That is the CSV we're going to be playing around with now. And I'll go ahead and shut down my Jupyter instance over here. All right, that is all done. All right. Can I restart from here, or am I gonna have to do the whole thing over again? I think I'm gonna have to do the whole thing over there. Yeah, and I think that's fine. So it looks like over on the left-hand side you can actually do multiple different model sources. So that's kind of nice. Or I don't know if that's nice or not, because I want to, because ideally I would just like to, like, let's say I wanted to try this out, but I wanted to try it out with the 7 of these 8 features selected as opposed to all of these 8. Is there a clean way to just remove one of these? And I don't see necessarily a way to do that. Okay. Well, but as part of the same project, I can just create a whole new one. So I am going to create a whole new one. I'm going to use my clean data set, same one that I did before. Okay, so no target selected. That's fine because I want the target to be survived. And I want all the features to be everything that I did here. And so I know this is all clean because I did this before. So there are definitely no null values in here. So I want all of them. Is there, it's too bad. Oh yeah, there's the select all button. Okay, so select. All right. I wonder what automatic does. Let's go ahead and click automatic. So train. So this should be super fast because this is a very simple data set. Okay, so completed evaluation. I should have split the data before I did this, for testing purposes. That would have been smart. Okay, so let's go ahead and, this is not good practice, but I'm going to just pass through the exact same CSV that we just trained on. I don't even like this. I am going to do that split. So let me back out of here. In fact, I'm going to open this back up. So iterm, so repos, so cd Titanic. All right, Jupyter. I want to split this before we do anything else. So let's go into here. Yeah. All right, so import pandas as PD from sklearn.model selection import train test split. Is that right? I was gonna say oh wow, I'm surprised I actually remembered that. I am very proud of myself for remembering that. All right, so df equals pd.read CSV clean.csv. Okay, so now we got our this backend. Now I want to do a train test. Well, no, I don't want to do a train test split on this because I guess I don't necessarily need this. I just want to grab or hold out the last 20 rows. So df, how do I do that? Can I just do indexing like this? All right, so that's just going to grab the first. Okay, yeah. Okay, so, and then if I did the 10 like that, then that's going to grab me the last 10. Okay, so I'm going to grab, I'm going to call this clean train equals, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart right now. So df, I want to grab just everything up to the last 20. Oh my gosh, why did I do that? All right, so that's everything from 10 onwards. Okay. Yeah. Let's grab the first 25. All right. And so we'll have, no. We'll do 50. There we go. So this will represent, clean train equals 50. And then we're going to do the same thing for our test. So, or something similar for our test. Clean test up to 50. And then we're going to save these out. So clean train .to CSV. Clean train .csv index equals false. Clean test .to CSV. Clean test .csv index equals false. My office is really freaking hot right now. Like, I was taking a nap, like really, like a quick power nap right before this, and I had my space heater on. I got a space heater right behind me here. I don't know if you can see it. You can't really tell, but like it's like a fireplace like heater. And it was nice while I was taking the nap, but wow, it's freaking hot in this office now. Okay, so that should have saved this all out now. So let me go back to this window and check really quick. Well, I guess I could look right here. Yeah, there we go. All right, now I can close this out, leave, delete this because I no longer need it. All right, and yeah. Now I'm curious because this test data set still technically does have the predictor value. So I wonder if createML is gonna how it's gonna behave with that. So let's go ahead and shut down my Jupyter server once again. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a third one of these. So, all right, training data, select clean train. Okay, yeah, I'll select survived is my P class, or my my predictor class. And then I'm gonna pick my testing data set, clean test. Okay, now it's not screaming at me, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so we did the training completed. Okay, so now we're actually starting to get something that's a little bit more of like readable. So what we're looking at here is, so I just did a train against our data set here. I wonder if I have this actually saved up to GitHub somewhere. Like, because I'd be very interested to compare the results, because I don't remember. It's been a really long time since we've done this, and I don't remember what our final scores were, or even if we saved them. I definitely know if they might be in here as in the form of notebooks. I just don't remember. It's been a while. Okay. Yeah. Predictive modeling, and because I think we settled on a random forest classifier. Yeah, random forest classifier. Okay, so I got a accuracy score of 83%, ROC AUC score of 8.81, and then 0.866 for everything else. But I don't think I ever actually tried to do any other scores. That's the one thing here, is that the scores here are for the different individual classes. They are not necessarily combined. Oh, well, I guess we see that like kind of up here toward the top right, except I wish these were a little bit more forthright of what these numbers are. Like, I don't know what this 90% number here is. Like, is this the accuracy score? Because if so, then it is actually a better accuracy than what we did a year ago, which is interesting. And then same with, well, I guess, how did I do this before? Like, what did I test this against? I don't remember. All right, so I did a train test split on the, okay, so I did it on just like basically the same thing we did here. Yeah, so I took the same cleansed data set here and I just did a split on it, and then I passed in like the validation data set, which is basically what we just did here. Like, it wasn't as clean of it was not the same split, so maybe, so that we can't really compare apples to oranges in that way, but it should be pretty close. I guess I could have done this and really produced the same results, but so what is that? 74% on the testing data set. So because it split the training. Okay, so what happened is it split the training data set into a validation data set, and that's why it's so high. And then the 74% is the testing data set, and that is lower than this score. But again, we're not necessarily comparing apples and oranges here, because it's not looking at precisely the same data. So it actually could be in line. I just can't tell. And that's actually kind of my fault, my bad. But yeah, we can see, I mean, that was really quick though. Like, that was kind of cool how easy and fast that was. Now, obviously, so one hiccup we saw here was if we had nulls in the testing data set, it did not handle those appropriately, which is interesting because when so this is the original one we were doing this through. This is when I pass in the training data here. This is the raw training data. This and the raw training data itself. Some of these numbers or these features do have nulls in that. So it's very curious that Apple handled the nulls appropriately for the training data, but then when I try to actually pop in the testing data set, it did not want to work, and I don't really understand why. Okay, so all right, so now that this has been trained, all right, what does this preview do? I don't know. Okay, output. All right, predictions. All right, so input is survive probability. Like I wish, is there a way to see like because what my coworker was showing me with at least with the image classification model, it was really cool. Like if you passed in images, you could actually see the prediction for the image, and then you could actually see the image too. So like, let's say, I got like 30 images, it would show this nice grid of these images. And then after you pass them through the model, it would say with like, all right, here's a preview of the image. And then it would show like the prediction of the image right below it. And so that was cool. I was just kind of hoping that we would be able to see a little bit more of more of like what actually was going on here, like with like the actual individual things here, because there are 50. Like it did go through the 50 here. I just don't know if I'm not clicking the right thing or what per se. And then let me try to save this again. I don't think this is going to save appropriately, but we're going to try anyway. Okay, so all right. So go into my file. Okay, so this is just again saving it as this file here. So I'm curious though. Let's just try to Google it. So create ML, export tabular model. We'll just call it export tabular model. Create a model from tabular data. Okay, so this is and this is where the excuse me. This is where the documentation is a little bit confusing, because the documentation, each time I Google this, it's not actually showing. It doesn't seem to be showing create ML. It seems to be showing Xcode, because it's showing the actual what appears to be the code that is actually being run under the scenes or run under the hood. I am just like combining phrases and words all like right now, like all the time. Like I meant to say behind the scenes and then under the hood, and then it came out as behind the hood. But okay, so like in it, like, so the documentation is not actually really showing this UI super well. I mean, it maybe does in these videos, but like the first, like in just Googling this right out of the box. Okay, so this is the create ML product here. All right, model types, getting started, view, create ML documentation. So image models, tabular models, creating model from tabular data. So we worked with the regressor, or I'm sorry, the classifier. Saving a model. So how do I actually save a model from the user interface? Yeah, this is the one thing that I'm a little bit disappointed from Apple's documentation here. And maybe I'm just being stupid. But where's the thing that's actually talking about how this works from here? Like, I don't see that. So yeah. And when I talked to my coworker too about this, he was telling me that he just, because I asked him what documentation he used, and he's like, I didn't use documentation. I just kind of played around with it and got it working. And I see why now. Because obviously we got this working, but yeah, like how do I actually export this thing? Yeah, I'm honestly a little bit disappointed here. It's hard to, I don't want to be critical because I love Apple. It's just I would have wanted to see better. Like I don't understand what the point of this user interface then is. Like, why build this like beautiful user interface if you're not going to necessarily show how to use it to its fullest potential? So I guess, well, yeah, like, so yeah, when I click the help, it's just taking me right back to this page here. Create ML, evaluation. Yeah, so this is the thing that my coworker was showing me, and he did a great job doing his work there. Yeah, like what is going on here? Okay. All right. Let me check I'm just checking the chat to see if there's any questions or anything. Cuz this might be a shorter live stream today because I don't know what else to say. I was hoping this would be a little bit cooler. Because some of the things that my coworker showed me was really, really, really cool. I just don't have the data to be able to represent that. Well, actually, you know what? Let me try that because I do have the images. I just don't think it'll work because I don't think the labels are necessarily in the right. What am I trying to say? The right format. Okay, so I'm going to do the object detection, and my object detector. I'm going to create it in the same directory that we've been working out of. All right, so the training data. So this is where things are going to get weird. So I do have the rock paper scissors data in here, and I have no idea how this is going to go. Again, we're sliding into this fresh. All right, so we have our training images. All right, so training directory. All right, unable to find any readable JSON files. Expecting more than one JSON file with. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So I didn't think this would work just because. So here, as a reminder, here, let me go ahead and open this up. Repos. All right, CD. What am I looking for? CV rock paper scissors. All right, CD images. CD training. Okay, because you could see, we've got all these different files in here, and we have the JPEG file. So the JPEG files here, actually, let me just pull this into Finder because it'll be easier to read that way. So these are the images that actually represent, so the JPEGs are the actual images themselves. So this is me at Starbucks. When did I do this? Oh my gosh, I did this in October, like October 1. Wow. That felt like yesterday. Dang, time flies. Yeah, I think the Starbucks people thought I was insane when I was doing this. But yeah, all of the annotations associated to these images are in the form of XML files right now. And so if I open it up, you can see here, so this is, this might be a little bit difficult to read, but this is it. Like, this is the bounding box associated to it. So this is actually, basically what this is saying is, okay, so the size of the image is 920 by 1080, and the actual rock bounding box can be found at these coordinates here. And so what Apple is basically telling me here is that it needs to be in some other format. So, now I'm really kind of upset. I guess disappointed is the better word. Unable to find any readable JSON files, expecting one JSON file with object annotations. And the reason I'm disappointed here is I honestly, when I clicked that more button, I was going to expect it to tell me, yeah, we couldn't find the JSON files, and here's an example of how these JSON files need to be structured. So this is disappointing. I wish that I would, at the very least, it's a tall order to ask anybody to say, I got these things in this Pascal XML format. Can you convert that for me? Actually, I think that should be doable. But anyway, that still is a tall order. At the very least, you should be able to provide documentation on how you do the conversion here. So I wonder if it's in this documentation here. So let's go ahead and come back here. So documentation, image models, object detector, building an object detector data source. So collect images. Here's an illustration on how to bounding box when the image is structured. One way to structure annotations is with a JSON annotation file. Okay. All right. So tell me how to do that then. All right. All right. So I'm trying to read through this trying to read and talk at the same time is very difficult. Okay. Because yeah, this is showing the exact same thing that I did. It's just that my file is in a different format than in what it expected, which is fine. It's just tell me how you actually want to see it. Okay, so here's the example of how they actually want to see it. Now, can I convert this simply? I don't know. I don't know. I don't see how we. Okay, so this is interesting. This is the very first time I've actually seen a screenshot of the Create ML product being in here. So, so it's not totally devoid from the documentation here. Okay, and again, I this whole thing could just be that I need to have spent more time sitting down with the documentation to really understand what this thing is going on, because maybe this documentation is good and I'm just being impatient. Very possible that is the case. So that is okay, this is an interesting way that they're doing their annotations here. I've never seen the annotations being done like this, because I mean it's similar, but basically what it's doing is, if I understand this correctly, so like this waffle label here, if I'm gonna guess that this X and Y point is like the top left of the bounding box, and then the height and the width you could use the calculations to actually like do the full bounding box using this. I've never seen that before, because if you come back again to how we did our bounding box documentation here, it actually just gave the straight points. Like so I don't even know how easy it would be to calculate that sort of thing. So let me just try to do a general Google of like what do I want to Google? Annotate images with bounding box for Apple Create ML. Okay, and I just want to see. I don't want to see Apple's official documentation. I want to see what somebody else had to say about this. So this is whoever this individual is. I'm giving you a shout out. I'm sure what you did here is great. And I'm also sure that I'm super impatient at reading these things live. Yeah. So, all right. So, this is a pretty nice guide, actually. Okay, I like the screenshot so far. So kudos to you guys, evil Martians, whoever you folks are. All right, so where's the annotation file? So to create, we need an annotation file. These can be formatted as JSON, XML, or CSV files. In this case, Create ML requires an annotation file formatted as a JSON file to create an object model. Yes, yeah, this is what we saw before. All right, now tell me, how did you do it? All right, so let's break it down. Each annotation, blah, blah, blah. I'm skipping past, hopefully clear by now. It requires blah, blah, blah. All right, so finding data to train our model. All right, so they're just talking about getting their own data sets, uploading their own data. So let's just skip past some of this part, because we have our own data. So let's they might be using we'll be using a service. Oh, okay, so they're using a special service that does this. But it looks like, to their credit, it looks like whatever the service is free up to 1,000 images. I don't know if I want to sign up for this or not. Let's see how complex the sign up process is. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second, because I'm afraid I'm going to reveal some information, and I'm going to just talk through what I'm doing. So I am signing up for this RoboFlow service, and I'm just out of sheer curiosity of like what this is. Well, I guess I should have continued to read the documentation before I did this. So, all right, I am officially signed into this service. All right, I want to. I'm using this for hobbies. I'm going to call this my CB Rock Paper Scissors. CB Rock Paper Scissors. Okay, continue. And well, okay. No, I can skip this part. Community, create public workspace. Okay. No. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start sharing my screen again. All right. Screen share bottom right. Create new project. So this is it looks like how this. I mean, this is I've never heard of this service before. So I mean, kudos to these guys. Like, these guys are like, I love this website here. Like, I love how it looks. I love all the screenshots. Like, this is a very, very nicely designed website, or blog, or whatever you want to call it. And so like they're guiding people through how to actually upload images and stuff. All right, so what do they do here? All right, uploading our data to get started. So create new project, project name, license. We'll go with public domain. Yeah, that's fine. Project type, object detection. All right, so okay, so create new project. I'm going solo. What am I detecting? Rocks or wait, how do I do this? These are the types of subjects that, okay, so what do I just need to do? So what do I need to, well, I'm trying to type in something. Rocks, rock, paper. Well, all right. Well, can I just get past this? I'm just gonna go public domain, or no, I'm gonna go MIT. I like MIT. All right. So create public project. And apologies if I got some banging above my head. I got my daughter just came home from school and she's got a little friend over right now, so they're having some fun upstairs. So, okay. Anyway, what am I detecting? It's hands. I'm just gonna say hands because I don't know how to fill this up properly. All right, rock. I'm just gonna call this RPS for rock paper scissors. Create public project. All right. Okay, so we can go ahead and select. We can select a folder. It looks like maybe. So we can go into. Where's my rock paper scissors? All right, rock paper scissors. Where are my images? All images. Oh yeah. But I didn't want to upload the XML files associated with those. Oh, that's interesting. Do you see that? Like it's already got the XML annotated labels and everything. Oh, this is interesting. Cool. Okay. No, I don't want to do a split. I don't want to split. I want to annotate. How do I annotate? Okay. Upload more images. Okay, well, I tried that. All right. Well, what if I just did all these individually? Like, this is going to be a big pain in the butt if I tried to do this, right? Well, shoot. Let's try this. All right, let's try just the whole file thing again. All right, all images, all images. Upload. Okay, so, yeah, annotated. Not annotated, save and continue. Why does it keep wanting me to do a split on this? Not sure. Whatever. That's fine. So let's see, because I'm very curious if this, because we explored different services in the past before. I wonder if this will actually do a different conversion of the annotations for me. That'll be interesting. Okay. Well, I want to go back to my data set. How do I export the? Okay, let's just go back to here. All right, so we need to. All right, so after we select those, finish uploading, finish marking all the files. You need to assign images. All right, so we need to click on them. We begin annotating them. All right, so all of mine are annotated. I just want to see if I can export them appropriately. Apple recommends. Oh, okay. All right. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. That's the problem. All right. From here, we will add the 91 images, and then we will need to split them out. All right. So we then added it, and then you'll see 3 panels. Okay. Yeah, I'm here. All right. Pre-processing the data set. Next, we move on to generating the ready-made data set. Okay. So continue pre-processing. I don't necessarily care about any of these augmentations. And then generating the data set. But I don't want to do any training. I want to save. Oh, okay. All right. I think I just got impatient. I think I'm just a little bit confused and I got impatient. So my apologies. All right. And so for those of you just joining, what I'm basically doing right now is I'm trying to get my data in a place that will work with Create ML just to see if this is going to work. And it may or may not work. Well, I don't want to do that. So data. Okay, so that's all good. So how do I export? Like export. I got out of this view. I don't know how to get back to it. Where do I go? Deploy, generate. How about that? Continue. I don't necessarily. Well, whatever. We'll do it. We'll do the resize. Or wait, no, I don't want to do the resize. No, stop that. I don't want to do any orientation. Just continue. Thank you. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to keep it. I just want it to be what it is. Okay, so generate. All right, so let's see what happens here. This is actually a pretty interesting service. So shout out to RoboFlow for this. All right, so custom train deploy. All right, so now I can click this export button. Okay, so here we go. All right, so download zip to computer. Continue. Okay, so that, what did that do? I don't think that downloaded anything. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Allow. All right, so that is downloading something to my computer. Let's look at this. All right, so the RPS. Oh, this is cool. Very neat. Although it didn't split it in the right capacity, still cool. Okay, but anyway, all right, but this is going to be good enough for our test. All right. Now I'm happy. All right, so let's go back into our object detector here. Let us go into our desktop, or our downloads, rock, paper, scissors, train, and yeah. Well, that's not what I wanted, right? Uh-oh. Well, how do I get... Oh, my gosh. Select. How do I select just the folder itself? Train. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. No, I want to select a because I have a validation data set. But, well, that's the problem. Like the validation data set, they're different labels. That's the... Well, let's see how this fares anyway. You know, this is not correct, but this we're gonna go with the flow anyway. All right, open. All right, now let's go ahead and train. Well, okay, so let's just look at this. So, oh, we can do a transfer. Okay, so that was one thing. So it trains a full object detection network based on YOLO v2. Okay, so it is using YOLO behind the scenes. All right, so this one is using transfer learning. With fewer parameters, this option is more robust with a training example. So let's do this one. I don't know how long this is going to take. 1,000 iterations sounds a long time, like it might take a while. Let's just set it to, well, let's just set it to 10 for now. All right, so let's go ahead and click the train button, and let's see how long this takes. Now, when I talked to the same aforementioned coworker, whenever he trained his model, it did take a while. Okay, so we're already blasting through 5, and we've already gone through all 10. Okay, so that did work. Okay, and that's not surprising. So that our testing data set did not necessarily work to the expectation that we wanted it to. All right, so preview. Preview what? Like what do I wanna? What am I trying to do here? So obviously we had bad scores because it's trying to detect on labels that I didn't necessarily want it to. So that is something I need to figure out here. The evaluation. Now, how do I actually drag or add images? Is this in like full screen mode or something? All right. Well, where do I add images at? So this is part of the problem with my setup here is I can't really see the bottom of the screen. Oh, there we go. I can add them from down here. Well, let's take a photo. Let's see what happens if I... Oh, it wants me to use my iPhone. Oh, this is kind of cool. So this is I don't know if y'all can see that. It's actually using my iPhone. So okay. All right. Well, let's try this out. Okay. All right. So I'm using this photo. All right. Oh, this is cool. Okay. Well, I mean, it produced way too many bounding boxes on here. But yeah. So what is the... Yeah, it produced way too many mounting boxes on here. So it is so confident that this, so maybe it's just that I didn't provide enough stuff or what. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, it's still cool. I mean, I don't know what you all think. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. On one hand, I think this is really cool. On the other hand, it's like, well, this didn't really... I don't know what this means. Okay, so I can delete this. So okay, so it's showing my data sources on the side. And as far as my training data set, well, let's just try. Let me actually I'm going to close out of here because I'm actually going to see if I can get the single labels working, or like reorganize things to where it's just like single labels, if you know what I mean. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove but I forgot. Well, how hard is it to edit this thing? Open up in text edit. Okay. Yeah. Now, how do I remove? Well, that might be a little bit difficult, but okay, so shout out to this RoboFlow service for being cool. It's just that I don't know necessarily. Like, I'm really impressed that it did this. But I don't know how to deal with the fact that, like, it didn't like how to handle it didn't it did a train test split, but it didn't do a split evenly across the labels. Like, how do I handle that per se? Well, I wonder if okay, I got an idea. All right, so coming back to the data set, I can change the labels on these, right? Okay, so can I manually change these labels? Well, not like the labels associated to this, but I want to change the labels associated to these like, is it the tags? No, I don't know. But the service is cool. All right, so how do I change this? Okay, so data set. I just don't see where I can change that. Can I change this from? Okay, there we go. All right, all right, let me think about this. I need to go back and think. All right, so I have 16 images, and I don't. How many images did I do total? I don't remember how many I did. All right, so let me come back to here. All right. Oh my gosh, come on, thing. All right. Okay, so I had how many all classes? So I want just the. Well, where are my scissors at? Like, I had more images than this, right? Like, why did it not upload them all? Like, yeah, like I had way more images than that. Okay, so let me see if I could just, can I select all, and then just, can I do a delete? Or where do I delete these? Yeah, in case you're wondering why I'm peeking over, the only bad part about my setup is because I got a monitor up here, and it's the monitor I'm displaying on, and the monitor down here, and I haven't figured, I got to get like a telescoping rod or something that like props up my top monitor a little bit, because I actually, like, my bottom monitor cuts off like just like that much of my top monitor that I can't see it very well, and that's why I'm like peering over that monitor just to see if I'm missing something, because I don't know why it didn't, why all of the images did not show up appropriately. Yeah, so well, I mean, I've been going for an hour. I guess this is probably a good place to stop. So I guess, at the end of the day, well, I closed out of the tool, didn't I? No, it's still open, isn't it? All right, so I still have this open. All right, so open project. Well, let's see if we can do the same thing with the handpose classifier. I doubt this is gonna work, but we'll try it anyway. So new project or open recent handpose classifier. I don't know how this works, but we'll try it anyway. So the training, open, expected one folder train, found one folder train, expected at least 2 folders of images, one of images, name for the classes. Okay, well, all right, so I guess we're not going to be able to go any further. All right, well, okay, I'm just going to call it here. Like, I don't know. Here, well, let me do one last check, because I wanted to, I mean, it was real. The most impressive thing was just the fact that I could, like, after I did this whole thing, well, I guess I did do very few iterations because I didn't know how long it would take. So let's do a retrain. Like, let's do an additional train, and let's actually do the full 1,000. Like, we got some time. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Let's add what is 1,000? Oh my gosh, 980. Let's train some more. All right, let's see what happens this time. And this time we'll do scissors because scissors is a little bit more clear on what that is. So I don't know how long this is going to take. And so how many iterations have we done so far? So iteration 10. Oh, wait, no, that was from before. So, okay, so we're already up to 40. So how long this is going to take? Like 5 minutes? I probably should have just done 100. But it's starting to level off anyway. There is a pause button, so I wonder if I should just pause. So, yeah, you could see that it's leveling off quite a bit. Like we're not getting much in terms of loss anymore. Anybody have any questions or anything? I'm doing a bad job about checking the chat today. I don't see anything. It is dang hot in my office, though. I am sweltering. So I hope you all are having a good week. It is still overcast and dreary here in Illinois. I have not seen the sun. Well, we've had like 1 day of sun in like the last month, and it is seriously driving me nuts. Like, I don't know if you could tell in this stream that I'm a little bit on edge. That like I am seriously like, where's the sun? Like it's upsetting that we can't. That like I've not seen the sun in so long. So okay, so we're up to 160, and what I've been talking for 2 minutes. I'm tempted to pause because the loss is really leveled out. Yeah, I'm just gonna pause it here. All right, let's see what happens. All right, can I pause it? Okay, so it is paused. Am I allowed to evaluate it or preview? All right, so gosh darn it. Oh my gosh, I keep pressing the wrong things too. I'm flustered at the moment. I don't know if you all can tell. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a photo. This part still is really cool. I love the integration. Apple really knows how to do the integration well. All right, so this time we're gonna do the scissors. So scissors. All right, so scissors. I'm gonna make sure I do it. I'm gonna do it in the ceiling just because the ceiling has like less of a background to it, so it should be easier to see. Okay, so I just took that photo, and now you should see it on the screen. And it did not really display the scissors. Well, that's because there's no, oh, that's because it never had scissors in here. Now I feel stupid. All right. You know what? It really is time to call it a stream. So, I'm going to continue looking into this because I don't think it's a bust. I don't think this tool is a bust. I just think that I need more time to understand this tool. And because I still think there is potential for it to be used for the rock, paper, scissors project. I'm just not 100% sure how to use this tool. So I just need to review the documentation some more. Yeah, so we'll call it here. I hope you still enjoyed the stream, even though I am honestly a little bit disappointed with how things turned out. And when I mean disappointed, I mean more disappointed in myself than anything. Like, it's hard to walk into one of these streams like unprepared because you never know what you're going to expect. And I was honestly, when I walked into this one, having seen what my coworker was able to do, I had high hopes for this one. And so I was hoping to see like that the tabular data was going to show more or do more. And the fact that it didn't, a little bit it is disappointing. So it is what it is. I hope you all still found some value on the stream. Anyway, as opposed to the other tool that I've explored in the past, the other tool I never bothered with. After that stream, I was just like never even gave it a second thought. This one I actually will continue to explore some more. There are things I like about it. There are just a lot of things I'm confused about. But we will be back in another stream. Probably not exploring this tool. We'll probably do something else. But hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you later. See you later.